This week, Mercury the Messenger turns back to direct motion, and Uranus the Awakener turns to retrograde motion. All of this, an empowered moment, and more in my new intuitive energy forecast for the week of Monday, August 26th through Sunday, September 1st, 2024. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, starseed astrologer and spiritual messenger from Sacred Soul Empowerment. And for this week's weekly intuitive energy forecast, we're going to be using the Lemma Tarot by Renata Lechner. That will be the main message for everyone. Your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, is going to be coming from the Earth Magic Oracle cards by Stephen Farmer. Before we get into the astrology of the week or even looking at your stones of choice, as usual, let's settle in and do an empowered moment. So close your eyes, take a deep breath, exhale, make sure that you're sitting up straight with your body relaxed. If you can, put your feet flat on the floor or the ground with your legs uncrossed, your arms uncrossed with your palms facing the sky or the ceiling. Being in this open, receptive energy vibration to seeing, hearing, feeling, experiencing, or just knowing the messages from Spirit, Universe, Creator, your angels and guides, and your higher soul self. Take another deep breath, relaxing even more as you exhale, visualizing that beautiful, protective, guiding, powerful golden white light all around you. Each time you inhale, you're breathing that in to every cell of your body, and each time you exhale, releasing what your body, mind, and soul no longer needs. And as we mentioned in our introduction to this video, Mercury the Messenger, the planet of the mental realm that rules our thoughts, perceptions, ideas, and communications, as well as information and messages, is turning back to direct motion, getting ready to move forward again. And also this week we have Uranus, the Great Awakener, planet that rules the higher mind, the God mind, stationing at 27 degrees Taurus and getting ready to turn retrograde. So as both of these planetary bodies are at a standstill and getting ready to shift directions, it's amplifying and magnifying what the energy is all about for them. And since Mercury rules the ego mind and Uranus rules the higher mind, it's a time this week to tune in to those higher messages from your mind, messages from your higher soul self, messages from your angels and guides, messages from universe, source, all that is. So just listen now for a few moments in silence. Listen to what the messages from your soul and from Spirit are whispering to you. What guidance are you receiving now? And throughout this week, take a few moments every now and again when you have time to tune in and listen to your inner intuitive self, to listen to the whisperings of the universe, the higher guidance from the higher spiritual realms. And taking one last deep, healing, cleansing, balancing breath. And as you exhale and in your own time, you can open your eyes and return to this time and place and space. Getting ready to look at your stones of choice for that special message card a little bit later on in this video. So our first special intention pendant of choice, and again, these are special intention pendants that I do have available on my website, so take a look for these and many more. But this one is golden calcite. And this golden calcite is wrapped in silver wire and given Reiki with the vibration of master number 33, number of Christ consciousness and divine healing. The energy of Pisces, sign of unconditional love, healing, and compassion. The energy of the planet Jupiter, planet of abundance. The element of fire for inspiration, confidence, and leadership. And the energies of goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of good fortune, blessings, and prosperity. Okay, and then pendant number 2 here is rose quartz. So this rose quartz is wrapped in silver wire and Reiki charged with the vibration of the number 9, number of unconditional love, forgiveness, compassion, the qualities of Libra, the sign of balance and harmony in relationships, the opening and balancing of the heart chakra for love of self and others, the energies of Archangel Raphael to heal old heart chakra wounds, and the energy of Archangel Chamuel to assist with attracting or healing soulmate relationships. And then the last pendant of choice is Shadakite. And Shadakite, this is wrapped in silver wire and it's Reiki charged with the vibration of master number 11 and master number 33 for increased psychic abilities, including clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience, the energies of the planets Neptune and Uranus for connecting to the higher spiritual realms and the God mind, the activation of the crown, third eye, and throat chakras for opening up to higher guidance and wisdom, having clear insight and vision, and speaking one's authentic truth. And this one has the energies of Archangel Uriel infused into it for creative inspiration and wisdom, as well as Archangel Michael for strength, courage, and leadership. So again, let's look at these stones of choice so you can think about this. And I forgot to mention that each one of these I chose because of 3 major things going on astrologically this week. The first one, Mercury, the messenger, the planet that rules communications and information and messages, turns back to direct motion in Leo. So that is what was inspiring me to choose the golden calcite. Then we also this week, which we'll talk about, we have Venus, the planet of love and relationships, as well as money and finances, but she's going into her home sign of Libra this week. So I was inspired or guided to choose the rose quartz for Venus in Libra. And then that last stone of choice was inspired by the fact that Uranus, the great awakener, the ruler of the God mind energy, claircognizance, turning to retrograde motion in Taurus this week. And this is the Shadakite that I was guided to choose for that. Okay, so as you think about what stone of choice you want for later on, let's talk about the astrology for the week. Quite a lot going on like there was last week, folks. So on Tuesday, August 27th, We have Venus, the planet of love and relationships. She rules money and finances. She rules values, as well as self-worth, how she values herself. Now, at this point on Tuesday, she's still in Virgo. Virgo is the sign of the Virgin, the sign of the Maiden. It's about purity and perfection and details, right? Focusing on the details and using discernment. And so she's using discernment in money matters and relationship matters. And on Tuesday, she's in a positive connection with Uranus, the great Awakener, who is slowing down to a standstill, getting ready to turn retrograde later this week. So his energies are heightened, right? And this happens very early on Tuesday, so we're going to feel this on Monday the 26th as well. Now, Uranus does rule liberation and freedom and change and redirection and surprises and expecting the unexpected. This is a positive connection between Venus and Uranus, but still, the divine feminine, I think, is going to want a little bit more freedom. She's going to want to feel liberated. She's going to be wanting a little bit more independence, looking for change, maybe some redirection in her life. We still could expect the unexpected, even though this is a positive connection. And it doesn't mean expecting the unexpected is a bad thing or that there's a negative occurrence. This could be a very positive surprise that kind of comes into play. On Wednesday the 28th, Venus in Virgo is now opposing Neptune. Neptune is the transcender. Neptune rules the spiritual realm. Neptune rules unseen and intangible energies and rules dreams, and it rules all that is of the higher spiritual realms, especially, or including, I should say, our connection to our angels and guides. Neptune sometimes deals with illusion, delusion, and confusion. And Venus is opposing Neptune. So oppositions are aspects of awareness. They could be positive, they could be not so positive. So we don't know how this is going to play out. But a lot of times within regards to relationships or financial matters, which Venus rules, normally in Virgo, she's very discerning and detail oriented. But that opposition to Neptune is going to have her a little bit ungrounded, a little bit confused, not really seeing things clearly or looking at these energies through rose-colored glasses. She kind of romanticizes those energies when she's connecting to Neptune. Also on Wednesday the 28th, this is when Mercury, the ruler of the mental realm, turns back to direct motion at 21 degrees of Leo. So he's at a standstill. And when Mercury is at a standstill, our mind, our thoughts, our perceptions are kind of at a standstill too. It doesn't mean we can't think, it doesn't mean we can't make decisions, but now that it's turning direct, even though it might take a few days for Mercury to pick up speed, things will start to unfold with a little bit more clarity. We'll be able to make a little bit easier, I guess, how do I want to say? Let's say this proper English. Mercury is still retrograde as I'm recording this, right? So choices and decisions will be made more easily, right? We'll have more confidence because it's in Leo. We'll have more confidence and courage and take charge ability. We'll be more creative. We'll be more expressive. Communications with other people can have that self-expression of, again, this sense of self-assuredness. And as it's kind of at that standstill on Wednesday, it might be a time to kind of really reflect or contemplate before making that decision of what to do next or what step to take or what action to take. But again, Mercury turning direct is definitely a positive thing. On Thursday, the 29th of August, this is when Venus, ruler of the divine feminine archetype, ruler of, again, partnerships and our associations with other people, and Venus ruling personal resources, including money and finances. She's moving into her home sign of Libra. And of course, Libra is about partnerships and relationships. So she's going to definitely focus more on that aspect of life, the partnerships and relationships, rather than the money and finances. If she does focus on money and finances, it's about shared resources, because Libra is the sharing of resources with another person. And whether those resources are financial resources or business resources or family resources, it could take many different forms. But it's about, again, this need to balance the scales between us and another. Now, Venus is going to be in Libra until September 22nd. So not quite a full month, but almost about 3 weeks or so here. She'll be in her home sign. Also on Thursday, the 29th, right after Venus goes into Libra, she's going to be making a positive connection, a trine, to Pluto. And Pluto is the great transformer. Pluto rules death and rebirth, transformation, regeneration, transmutation, transition, power, control, disempowerment, empowerment. Now, this is a positive connection, so we can say the divine feminine is feeling empowered or taking her power back. So this is a positive indication of some positive transformation in your life. And then on Sunday, the 1st of September, can you believe we're into another month? Uranus, the great awakener, that planet of freedom, liberation, change, redirection, expecting the unexpected, future-oriented kind of vision of what we want to move into as we take those next steps forward, collaboration with people of like mind, humanitarian causes. Uranus is turning to retrograde motion at 27 degrees of Taurus. Now, Taurus is an earth sign. Uranus is more of this electrical sort of planet. So Uranus has been grounded. It spends 7 years in each sign of the zodiac. It's getting near the end of its travels through Taurus. So as we move into the next couple of years, it's going to be transitioning into Gemini, and then things are going to be rocking and rolling. But right now, Uranus is still in this grounded, practical, focused earth sign. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't expect the unexpected or that there might be some surprises. In fact, Taurus does rule personal resources. Taurus does rule money and finances. Taurus rules values. Taurus rules our sense of self-value or self-worth, and embodying that energy, grounding in that energy of knowing that you're worthy and deserving. But Uranus, again, freedom, liberation. And because it's in an earth sign, just on an earth level, on an Earth Mother Gaia level, Uranus can kind of shake things up a little bit, right? And he shakes things up in general. That's where the surprises come in. There might be some shaking up on the planet as far as earthquakes, things like that can kind of come about as Uranus slows down to station. There also might be some shakeups within the financial or money matters on a collective level of the planet, as well as maybe personally as well. So a lot is going on. And then to end out this week on Sunday, the 1st of September, Pluto, planet of power and control and death and rebirth, that potent kind of force of energy. It's been retrograde for a few weeks, but it's now retrograding back into Capricorn, right? It's been in Aquarius for a little while, but it's now retrograding back into Capricorn until November 19th. It actually retrogrades. It stays at 29 degrees of Capricorn, that last degree of Capricorn. And I will say this. Remember a little while ago when we had 2 full moons in Capricorn? Remember that? June 21st, we had a full moon in Capricorn at 1 degree of Capricorn. And then July 21st, we had a full moon at 29 degrees of Capricorn. Pluto's retrograding back to 29 degrees of Capricorn, activating that second full moon in Capricorn where we had this big time period of karmic clearing. And Pluto is going to activate that again with its death and rebirth energies, transformation and regeneration energies on a collective level, as well as in your life personally, depending on what it's activating in your astrological chart. Now, Pluto will turn back to direct motion at that 29th degree of Capricorn, October 11th. But as I said, it won't move back into Aquarius until November 19th. And then it will be in Aquarius for a good long while, not to return in our lifetimes to that sign of Capricorn. So there's going to be a lot going on September, October, and into November, most of November, on a collective level, as Pluto is stirring things up with the patriarchal system, the organizations, big business, politics, those that are in a place of power and control over other people on the planet. So there's going to be a lot happening for us during that 3-month time period. Okay, so that's enough about the astrology. Let's go ahead and take a look at the messages from our angels and guides for this week. So the first card that comes up is the Page of Swords. Now, the pages are messengers. They're about communications. They're about thoughts, perceptions, and new ideas. And especially in the suit of swords, it's definitely about all those things. Pages are messengers, whether they're in fire, earth, air, water. And of course, you know, that could be cups or wands or pentacles and swords. But in the suit of swords, it's definitely highlighted to be all forms of communication, all forms of thoughts, ideas, and perceptions on that mental realm, okay? So this is highlighting, again, what are you thinking? What are you perceiving? Who are you communicating with? What do you need to communicate with others? What messages are you getting from other people? What messages are you getting from your higher self? What messages are you getting from the higher realms, from universe, source, your angels and guides? So this is definitely, again, with that Venus in Virgo. And although Virgo is an earth sign, Virgo is ruled by the planet Mercury. And of course, again, Mercury is at that standstill, turning to direct motion at 21 degrees of Leo. So this idea of messages and information is highlighted this week. So pay attention. Pay attention to your emails. Pay attention to your text messages. Pay attention to networking. Pay attention to communications that you receive or communications that you might need to have, because all of this is highlighted. New ideas could be coming in right now, those aha moments, those flashes of insight, all of this, especially with those first couple of connections with Venus and Virgo, with both Uranus and then Neptune. We've got God mind energy with Uranus, we've got spiritual energy with Neptune. So definitely, and of course, Uranus turning to retrograde motion is magnifying the energies of the God mind, that inspiration, the spiritual inspiration, the aha moments, the great awakening of claircognizance, and again, that energy from the higher realms. So this is more of the ego mind thinking, but let's see what comes in later on for this week as far as the rest of the cards before we say it's just about the ego mind versus the higher mind. I think it's probably both. All right, so the next card is Major Arcana 6. This is the Lover's card. So not surprising, since Venus is kind of highlighted this week, right? Venus connects with Uranus on Tuesday. Venus connects with Neptune on Wednesday. Venus moves into her home sign of relationships and partnerships, Libra, on Thursday. And then Venus connects with Pluto to empower those divine feminine energies, empower us in relationship matters. Now, again, the relationships could be romantic, could be business, could be family, could be friendship, okay? But this is about one-on-one relationships. And a lot of times the Lovers, too, is about choices, because it's normally ruled by the sign of Gemini, and Gemini is the sign of the twins. This or that, the high road, the low road, the left road, the right road. Which choice do we want to make? It's about, again, choices, directions, decisions that we're making within some sort of relationship matter. And this could be with the relationship with yourself, too, right? Do you want to empower yourself? Do you want to stay stuck? I mean, nobody wants to stay stuck, but sometimes we're in a comfort zone, right? Sometimes our sense of comfort overrides our ability and knowingness that change is needed. But this might again revolve around relationship with self or others in some capacity, and the need to balance the energies. Is there codependent energies going on in our relationships? Are we balanced within our divine feminine and divine masculine within ourselves? We've got this wonderful angel that's residing over our relationships. So call on your spiritual helpers, the archangels, your ascended masters, your spiritual guides. Ask them for assistance and guidance. Looks like something's being highlighted here, like revelations and aha moments, spiritual insights with this kind of yellow and orange energy. Of course, yellow relates to the solar plexus energy, your center of personal power. Take your power back. The orange relates to the sacral chakra, our emotions, our creative self-expression. I feel like we need to really get in touch with our emotions. So a lot going on with that card. And then the last card came out as 2 cards. So let's look at the first of those 2 cards. We've got Major Arcana 2, the High Priestess. I feel like this card came up recently in one, either last week's or the week before. I don't know, I can't remember, but it seems like the Priestess came up before. Now, the High Priestess, normally she's holding a book like the Akashic Records. She's not really holding a book. She's holding something there in her hands, but I can't really tell what exactly it is, to be honest. It looks like she's got a crystal ball over her head, though. And she's got almost like this magical swirling energy around her. Of course, the High Priestess is our intuition and insight and divine feminine personal power, I feel like. So we're empowered within the divine feminine. And that makes sense because Venus, ruler of the divine feminine archetype, is in a connection with Pluto, the planet of personal power or empowerment. And Uranus turning retrograde, amplifying and magnifying his energies of kind of claircognizance, is really going with this Priestess card, right? With kind of the crystal ball over her head, this claircognizance, the divine wisdom and knowledge that she's channeling through, which is why she's often shown holding the book of the Akashic Records. So this is a powerful card saying, listen to your intuitive insights. Listen to the intuition from your higher self, from your angels and guides. Maybe even tap into the Akashic Records or get an Akashic Records reading, okay? And I do have that service on my website, FYI, and I'm sure a lot of other people do too, so definitely, go with your guidance, but tapping into that great book of all the lifetimes, the gifts, talents, and abilities, the karmic lessons, what you're here to learn in this lifetime based on past lifetime situations and circumstances, that also can be tapped into with this High Priestess card. Now let's see what card came out with the High Priestess. Another Major Arcana. This is Major Arcana 12, the Hanged Man. So this is usually about looking at something from a different vantage point, from a different perspective, right? Because the Hanged Man, right, is upside down in this card. So he's also kind of in a state of surrender, right? Because he's hanging by one foot from the tree branch. So he's not really able to walk forward. He's not really able to move. He's just kind of suspended in midair. Sometimes you might feel like your life is kind of suspended, situations and circumstances. There's a pause. There's a need to kind of sit still for a minute. Maybe not too long, but with Mercury turning back to direct motion, there might be a little bit of a pause here. And that is, again, to get a different perspective, a higher spiritual perspective. What's happening? Why is it happening? It goes really well with the High Priestess, because the High Priestess is using that divine wisdom and knowledge from the God mind, and she's using that claircognizance to understand what the higher spiritual perspective of circumstances in her life is. Now, it's interesting that in this particular Hanged Man, what's holding him is not the tree branch. It's a snake that's hanging down from the tree branch. And snakes are an animal totem that deals with death and rebirth and transformation. Okay, that's kind of very Plutonian to me. And Pluto is again connecting with Venus this week, but even more so, Pluto being retrograde is going back from Aquarius into Capricorn. So we're definitely kind of suspended, maybe on a collective level. We're suspended while Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn, which again is going to be till November 19th, where we're waiting to see, why is this playing out the way it is? Why are these things happening on a collective level? What's really going on out there? What's the higher spiritual perspective of what's going on out there? There must be a reason. There's a reason for everything. And the reason partly is this transformation, this death and rebirth that we're needing to go through on a collective level to remove maybe some of those lower, dense, patriarchal system power and control energies so that we can fully move into the Aquarian age, right? Once it moves back into Aquarius, we've had a little taste with Pluto dipping back and forth into Aquarius from Capricorn, but now it's like that last kind of time period of it kind of clearing out the old paradigm of energy. Is it going to happen overnight or over these next 3 months completely? I'm sure it's going to take time, but there's going to be a big maybe transformation and clearing. And we're waiting to see what that transformation with the snake there is all about while we kind of wait and see and look at things again from this higher spiritual perspective. And you can see if you turn this over upright, his crown chakra is highlighted in green. Now, the green is unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness. Can we be in that state of unconditional love, compassion, and forgiveness, both within ourselves, towards our significant others in our lives, and on a collective level towards all of those people that are known or unknown in our lives on a collective level that have caused a lot of this, again, power and control energy. So, whoops, I dropped that, but we were done. So a lot going on astrologically, but let's see what the message is from your angels and guides for this week. So the first pendant of choice was the golden calcite. So just shuffling this a little bit with my eyes closed. And the golden calcite people, what's their special message of guidance for this week? Golden calcite. This one's calling my attention as I open my eyes. We've got desert with vision quest. Now, keep in mind there might be, with some of the images here, additional messages that are maybe just for you. For instance, this looks like Arizona or New Mexico, or if you're in another country, some desert sort of climate. Maybe you're thinking about moving or relocating. Maybe you want to move to Arizona or New Mexico. So this could be like that aha moment of, oh my gosh, there's the desert, right? And so this might be a special message for you regarding that. But overall, this is about going on this vision quest, right? A lot of times shamans would go on a vision quest in the desert, and they had limited water and no food. And you know, as the heat barreled down upon them, they had to rely on their spiritual guidance and their spiritual insights to have kind of this vision quest, this aha moment, this revelation, right? And a lot of times, now sometimes that would happen by climbing the mountain as well, but whether it's climbing a mountain or going through the desert, right? We're kind of on this shamanic journey and quest for the truth, for the answers that reside within us, for us, right? So I feel like we're needing to maybe do a little meditation. It doesn't mean you have to walk through the desert, but we're needing to go through a little meditation or self-reflection. Maybe you do want to go on a vision quest of some sort. Maybe it's going to be with a shaman or with a healer. Maybe it's going to be with a group of people out in Arizona, you know. But this is about seeking this higher vision, questing after the truth, wanting to know what your higher soul self, your angels and guides are showing you. And a lot of times what they're showing you, it could be in the form of like a flash of insight, could be a dream, could be through animal totems or nature totems. This can all provide information as to what the next step is for you, or how to bring healing, body, mind, and soul to yourself. Or it could, reveal a myriad of other things for you. All right, let's put that back in the deck in case somebody else gets it. And the second stone of choice was the rose quartz. So what's the special message for the rose quartz people? Rose quartz people. This one's calling my attention, so. Ooh, DNA and karma. And look at this, folks. We've got the snakes, right? We not only have, I don't know where it went. Oh, yeah, it went on the floor. That's right. But the hanged man with the snake wrapped around his leg. Now we have two more snakes, kind of in a wrapped around this DNA helix or DNA spiral. And so this is dealing with some past karma. And I think this has to do with Pluto going back into Capricorn. It's almost like you're going to go through a continuation for the next few weeks of DNA activations, karmic clearing, past life clearing, past life activation of gifts, talents, and abilities, turning the light switch on to your higher psychic abilities, your gifts, your talents, your life purpose, your life path in this lifetime. So there's a lot of transformation, death and rebirth energies going on with the double snake here, right? So more of more of that DNA, more of those sacred soul gifts are being activated. And I don't feel like it's just this week. I feel like this might be the beginning of a few weeks to come with this powerful, transformative energy. And remember, snakes shed their skin and then they grow a new skin. So you're shedding a lot of what you no longer need to carry, and you'll come into, again, this new skin, this new way, these new gifts, this new persona, this new sense of self. Okay? Wow, that's powerful. And then the last stone of choice, and I feel like my camera is, there we go. It was kind of tilting there. The last stone of choice was the Shattuckite, right? That Shattuckite. Message for the Shattuckite people. Message for Shattuckite. Okay, this one's calling my attention. No way, you guys. Okay, Shattuckite people, you're on a vision quest as well. And, whether this is, I feel like it's a combination, right? Mercury is at a standstill turning direct. Uranus is at a standstill turning retrograde. Pluto's going back into Capricorn. What a perfect and powerful time to go on a vision quest. Maybe this is too, how do we say, like plant medicine, right? So maybe you've been thinking about using plant medicine to go on a vision quest. Maybe this is your sign that indeed maybe that is something that you want to partake in. A lot of times people can find a shaman or someone that's been trained in this, and you can do it one-on-one with them. You can do it in a group kind of situation. Doesn't have to be a plant medicine vision quest journey, but again, some sort of quest to find your inner truth or your higher truth is indicated with this. The idea of the desert too, for both the golden calcite and Shattuckite people, is like having minimal maybe contact with other people, right? If you're in a desert, you're not around a lot of other people. If you're in a desert, you kind of have this feeling, image, idea that you're living minimally. So maybe this is also an indication to kind of release and let go of all the extra stuff that you no longer need, right? To live kind of a minimal sort of life or existence, a simple life, right? With only the basic necessities. That's what I think of when I think of desert as well. You don't have a lot, right? You don't have like a bunch of clothes or food. And I'm not saying you have to get rid of all your clothes and food, but it's that idea of just really living on a basic level, at least for a short time. Maybe you want to go on a weekend getaway, a little trip, you know, maybe it's by yourself, where you're just by yourself out in nature and kind of taking in the spiritual energies, the information, nature, and finding again your connection to yourself again. There's a lot of golden in this color. So again, that solar plexus energy is highlighted here as well. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. And remember to watch the monthly intuitive energy forecast for the month of September, because this week it ends on September 1st. And so we're also going to have that big monthly energy forecast. We're going to be going into a month that actually will start eclipse season. We will have a lunar eclipse in September and a solar eclipse on October 2nd. So it's going to be a powerful month coming up. Sending you all lots of love and light and many, many blessings until we connect again. Namaste, everyone.